Hello, and welcome back to Diecast Graveyard. My name is Paul. We've got a fun wheel swap today since it's Wheel Swap Wednesday. We're going to take this 55 Belair gasser with the Holley livery on it, and we're going to do a really cool wheel swap, but we're going to do some pretty interesting details too. I got some ideas for the wheel swap, which we're going to use those wonderful Samed wheels. But I've got some details I want to do to the engine, etc. So go ahead and grab your favorite adult beverage, sit back and relax with today's wheel swap. And again, this is going to be a lot of fun, but stick around to the end of the video because I got a few announcements for you. Let's go ahead and get started with today's wheel swap.
It's time to start the autopsy.
I've already got the car drilled apart, so let's go ahead and look at what we have here. Here we've got the body, and it's in excellent shape since I just pulled it out of the blister. We're going to go ahead and file down the post down here so it'll be easier to attach it back to the base when the time comes. But we also need to drill out the posts to get them ready for the screws. And we're going to be using 2-56 screws here. That looks pretty cool. Now here's what I was talking about with some details to the engine. I've got these little 3D printed velocity stacks that I'm going to put on top of the engine. And this is just a little bit of extra to where we can make this engine look really cool. So I went ahead and put a little bit of super glue, or will put some on there, and then once that's dry we're going to go in with a Molotow chrome pen and we're going to paint those up and make them look really good and make it look as one part of the engine. I like using the gel type super glue because it doesn't usually get all over anything. Now, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell to be alerted to any future videos that come out. Now, if you really wanted to go in and do some detail on the interior of the car, this is a really good time to do this. Those look awesome. And once we get them painted up, they're going to look really cool. I had my friend Grizz print these for me. Let's move on. Alright, now we're going to take some Molotow chrome paint and we're going to get in and paint the velocity stacks. I use these little swabs when I go to paint. It sure beats having to clean up a paintbrush every time. I just put a few drops in a cup and then use the swab to paint them up. These are looking pretty cool. Just make sure you get everything. That's looking pretty awesome. Now also make sure that when you go to paint this that your glue inside the velocity stacks is dry, because it'll just start gumming up on you. That's looking awesome. Let's move on. Alright, we're going to detail out the car. Apologize for the angle of the camera here, but we'll do the headlights and the signal lights. That'll make the car look that much better. Just a quick swipe with the swab and the orange paint, and those are done. Pretty awesome. Now it's time to do the wheel swap. Just go ahead and pop the old ones out. They come out really easy. Take your flat tip screwdriver and bend the tabs back so you can get the axles in a little bit easier. Now if you want to use glue on these to hold your axle in, that's fine. But with the interior, with the little tabs on the interior there, it's not necessary to glue them in place. so the wheels will roll a lot easier for you. But if you have a problem with your wheels rubbing up against the inside of the fenders and like that, you might want to put a little dab of super glue on there just to hold them to the base of the car so they don't float around too much. Let's move on. Okay, we got all of our parts here. We did the details. Here's the interior with those new velocity stacks on there. That looks great. Here's the base with the new beautiful Samed wheels on there. They make this car look absolutely awesome. And here's the glass. Let's go ahead and put everything together and have our reveal.
Meanwhile, back in the graveyard.
And this is what we started with. This Holley gasser right out of the blister. This is a really well-designed car, and I love the way it looks. And I says, you know, this is just screaming for a wheel swap. So we took it apart, we detailed out the engine, we detailed out the headlights and the signal lights, and we also did a wheel swap on this car. And it turned out absolutely fantastic. Now, like I always say in my videos prior, you can do this. Watch the videos that we put out, and if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. It's a great hobby, and it's a lot of fun, but don't be afraid to ask those questions. And here's the result. Look at how beautiful this car turned out. Just a few simple little changes to the car, and you can have an incredible custom. This turned out beautiful. Look at those beautiful Samed wheels, and look at the velocity stacks on the engine. And with the highlights on the headlights and the signal lights, what a wonderful custom this turned out to be. This was a lot of fun to do for you, and I hope you give it a try yourself. Now, this will work with any type of car, any type of gasser, whatever you want to do a wheel swap on. And like I said, you definitely can do this. Just follow the tips and tricks that we give you in these videos, and you can have a lot of fun. Let me introduce you to Glenn Harding. Glenn Harding is an artist that does a lot of artwork with these Hot Wheels cars. And he's actually made a coloring book that he sent me here. There are a lot of great pictures here in this coloring book, and you, as the parent, might like doing this yourself also. But this book is really cool, and it's good because they might not be ready to handle the tools and the drills and the paint and the glue and all that stuff, but they can do this hobby and get just as involved with it as you do. And you might like this coloring book yourself. It's a lot of fun, and the artwork in there is incredible. So check out Glenn Harding's website, which will be in the description of this video, and see what he has here for this coloring book. He sells it on Amazon, and like I said, there'll be a link in the comments. Now, the last thing we need to do here is make a custom card. Now, I used Glenn's artwork from the coloring book to make this custom card, and I did show it to Glenn, and he absolutely loved it. This was a lot of fun, and like I said, the man's artwork is incredible, so please check out the coloring book. Get a few for your young ones that want to enjoy the Hot Wheels hobby with you, and it'll be fantastic. Now, I do have some new merchandise. I've got adult beverage glasses, I've got t-shirts, I've got coffee mugs. Just check out everything that's in there, and the link will also be in the description. But these are fantastic. I've ordered some myself, and I made sure that the merchandise that goes out looks absolutely fantastic. And it does look great. So when you're watching your Diecast Graveyard videos and we raise our adult beverage glasses, you'll be prepared wearing that fine t-shirt and throwing that glass or coffee mug in the air. And check it out, please. I would really appreciate you taking a look. This video today is brought to you by Samed Wheels. Samed Wheels has a very large variety of wheels and accessories for all your diecast needs. Check out their website and look at all the different varieties of wheels they have. The hardest decision you'll have to make is which ones you want. Samed Wheels at www.samedwheels.com. Check them out today. Thank you for joining me today on Diecast Graveyard. We've got a lot more videos coming up in the future, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And thank you again for joining me here today. If there's something you'd like to see, put it in the comments. Thank you, and cheers.